Hawkins here with Chickenhawkfarmstead, and today we have
coffee.
Another return of coffee apparently with Chickenhawkfarmstead. And today we're going to try to build. The plan is to build a shelter for our goats and our Great Pyrenees that are out with the goats.
Coffee.
And we're not going to make any coffee.
Coffee. And coffee. And coffee.
All right, this is going to be a simple structure. It's going to be 4 foot deep, 8 foot wide. Plan on putting metal on top of it, around the edges and on the roof. Got all the lumber today. Went to Lowe's. It is 23rd of December 2023. So just for prices, the lumber itself to build the frame was right at $100. The metal, it's going to depend. I got a local place that cuts the metal, and so I can get it for like half the price of what you pay at Lowe's. But, and I got some, I'm going to repurpose for this project. So your metal cost is going to vary, of course. That is what it is. But I'll give you the prices, and we'll put it over here somewhere. I'll do all that math later, and get you about what it would cost to buy everything at Lowe's with the metal they have. I'm planning on using the cheaper stuff. Not the regular metal roofing stuff, the corrugated stuff that's all on it. It's about 2 foot in length. Like I said, that's what I plan on using because that's what I got left. The height's gonna be 6 foot tall, but that, I'm 5'9", so I wanted something that I can go in. I could have went shorter. I thought about getting 4x4s that were 8 foot tall, cutting them in half, and have a 4 foot one. When I was at Lowe's, I did find they had a 6 foot 2x4 or 4x4s. They were like $10. They were half the price, literally half the price of the 12 footer, which was uncommon because they were already cut. So that worked out really nice because I'm gonna try to do as little cutting as possible. I think I'm gonna get away with like 8 cuts or something on this whole thing. With the circular saw, I plan on using the nail gun, nail it all together. Little ones here, she's gonna help me hold up some of the parts until I get the frame and I can build the top. But we'll get into it and see how it goes. All right, we're about to get this started, and like I said, I want to do as little cutting as possible. The tractor was already here, so I was like, I'll get the sawhorses when we have the tractor and the forks. So I'm going to lay the boards across here. I'm doing 2x4s and 2x6s to construct this with the 4x4 legs. Like I said, 6 foot tall, so we already got 4 6 foot tall 4x4s. It's going to be 8 foot wide, 4 foot deep. So I got 2x6s, and we're just gonna build a square box around the 4x4s on the top. We're gonna do 3 sides on the bottom, and then we're gonna do, how am I planning on doing this? 2x4s to hold the metal roof down. Planning on 5 of them running 4 foot wide across, and those are gonna be at the bottom of the 2x4, and then some laying across that, so they hopefully all fit in there. You'll have to watch to see. You'll get what I'm saying here in a minute, or fast forward and find that part when I show that, when I get to that point. So like I said, minimal cutting. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and cut everything I know that I'm gonna need. So I'm gonna cut 2 of my 2x6s, and we'll cut those, right in half, so they're 4 foot each. And that's gonna give me my 2 sides on the top, my 2 sides on the bottom. And like I said, the other ones will be long. And go ahead and cut, see, 3 of my 2x4s. We'll cut those in half, and those are going to be my runners going back and forth. And what that's going to do by having them straight up and down, you're going to have more of that structure integrity, because this is going to a goat pen. We don't have full-size big goats or anything, but they are around 100 pounds, and I anticipate probably finding the goats on top of this thing at some point. And I want it to be a strong structure, because the other plan I have is, if I want to move this thing around, is that I can use the forks of the tractor to actually pick this thing up and move it to where I want, which is another reason I didn't want it too big. And 6 foot be right. And if I wanted to go smaller and you wanted to do 4 foot, that'd be a lot easier to pick stuff up with something like this. But these are ideas. Take what you need from this video, use it on your own, because you're going to have different needs and different wants. All right, I'll get into cutting this. We'll be right back. Okay, we got our boards cut here, our half ones. And we're going to start out doing the shorter sides first. So that's one of the things she's going to help with here in a minute, hopefully. because these are still wet, so they ain't light. We're gonna put down our 2 side posts. And our 2x6. And if everything was cut right, all we gotta do, get these over there kind of level, make sure everything's flush. So we got that flush. Throw some nails in there. Hold your ears. Actually, give me the square. Make sure that we're good. We'll use the square on it. I think this is just out of the picture, but I'm assuming you know what I'm talking about. All right. Make sure that ain't gonna go nowhere. All right, we'll do the same thing to our other side. Repeat this for the second side. I don't know if this is a good angle or not. We'll find out. All right, so we got 2 of these little arches, I guess you can call them, done. I'm gonna go ahead and put this, the back cross beams, because like I said, on 3 sides. On the bottom, I'm gonna put the 2x6s. That's just gonna really help the legs so they don't get bowed in and stuff like that, especially when you're sitting them down. I don't want to put them on the ground, like all the way at the bottom. That's where you'd think you would do it. From my experience, the bad part about that is, especially if you're putting this out in a pasture or something like that, then if your ground's not perfectly level, it's not going to be sitting level, which doesn't really work out. So I'm going to go ahead and put these about 6 inches, probably about 6 inches off the ground. That way the feet can sit, and then there's a little bit of a angle for stuff like that. And to do that, I'm going to use some other 2x4s and stuff like that, just prop under there, get them up off the ground, and that's going to hold it together for when I do my cross, or put my beam at the top. Everything's going to be the right distance, and it's going to hold everything already in the right spot, so I can just nail it in, and it's not going to be as big of a deal if it makes sense. Let me deal with these kids real quick. We'll be right back. See how that works out. I decided on doing right at around 3 inches on this bottom one, because if I wanted to, in the future, if I want to put a gate on the front of this thing, I don't want that. Whatever animals I'm trying to keep in, they'll be able to get out very easy. And right around 3 inches. So 2 of my ones that I cut 4 feet, I'm just throwing them on the ground there. We are working in the garage with a level floor, thank goodness. So over here, I got it flush. And now I want this flush, like if I was gonna do this top one, you tend to want to come out to here. But by doing that, now you're gonna not, your 8 feet, it's gonna be adding that. So when I put my runners across here, from here to there, the boards are gonna have to be cut. I want to do as little cutting as possible. So by keeping that, you know, a board ending right here, my 8-foot board, then they're gonna butt up to just fine. You'll see that here in a minute. So now that's on there. I don't have to worry about holding it. I'm gonna scoot this to where it's level, or I'm gonna go ahead and nail that on that side. So I got it nice and flush. I'll nail that. I'll come over here, I'll scoot this down a little bit, get it nice and flush on the end, and then cut that, or nail that one in. And we'll work on getting this top piece here, and we'll put our bottom pieces on and go from there. Right, Harper?
Yeah.
You ready to finish this?
Yeah.
Of course you are. You like helping me?
No.
Didn't think so. Here's another little tricky part. I need to get the 8-foot 2x6, which is treated and wet, like from the treatment or whatever. So it's very heavy. I need to get that and somehow attach it over there, and then come over here and attach it over here. This is my helper. Say hi, helper. That's not gonna work. So use what you got sometimes. One option, I could use the forks or something like that because of where I'm at. I also have this shelf here, and on top of there, I've stacked a bunch of my pieces that I've already cut that are gonna go on later, and I'm hanging them over a little bit. So the plan is to take that piece, put it up here, and I've already measured. This is almost exactly where I need it. So that's gonna be sitting on there. I can come over here, should be able to nail this in with the nail gun, and that's gonna help support that other side, and I can go over there and I'll put that piece side where it needs to be, and I'll nail that on. In theory, it's all gonna work and go smooth and great. We'll find out. Well, that worked out. And I didn't die. Harper didn't die. Harper, did you die? Alright, so next we got our crosses here. So we got those two more that click on there. One on this side, one on that side. And then under these. Let me get one out and show you. The plan is to put these across here. And then, wait. Yeah, these are going across here, like so. They'll be between there. And then those last 3 beams there, because we're gonna have a little bit of a gap left, if we put those down here, I might put the other ones on first. And they're actually gonna lay flat ways. So I'm gonna come in and lay, put it in. Let me see if I can find a short piece real quick. There we go. So these, I'm gonna have 3 of them going like that, running all the way across, all right? And then underneath that, it's gonna be butted up, the 2x4 going this way. That's gonna give it the structure integrity for the downforce on it. But by putting this like that, when I put my metal roofing on, I got a lot more surface to put it on. And these are gonna be resting on the other boards. And I want it down inside of here instead of on top, just to keep this sealed in a little bit better. That's my reasoning for using 2x4s. I mean, on an 8-foot span for something like this, it's going to be fine. And we still got our 2x6s on the outside. I mean, when this thing's done, I think I'd be comfortable on top of it. It's basically going to be like a 6-foot tall deck. Now that I think about it, that might be a good hunting platform. Because like I said, or for anything, I mean, if you wanted to make something like this, because so far, lumber, we got $100. You can use screws instead of nails. You don't have to have a fancy nail gun or anything. Or you can use hammer and nails, nail that thing in. And then the tin, like I said, I'm gonna add up the math on the tin once we're done. And we'll have that. And below in the comments, or in the descriptions, I'm gonna try to remember to put a full cut sheet of all my materials and current prices as a total for all that. All right, I'm gonna get these cross beams or whatever they're called. Not trusses. Yeah, sure. Anyways, get these put on and we'll be back. It'll be time for metal, which I don't know if we're gonna do today because it's kind of rainy and nasty outside. I don't know if you can see that. Not the best day. Be right back. All right, so here, you see I marked the 16s. This, I thought that was gonna be 4 for some reason. It's gonna be 3 across there. It's every 2 feet on those. This is every 16 inches on here, just for now. Or you could leave it. This right here, I put this here just so I can get these across without a problem. because once I put the cross beams running this way, they're going to be about a 1/2 inch higher, and I want to make sure they butt up to that pretty good. And you know, I'm going to put a nail in there through there to combine these two. But yeah, but now to get that thing in, because like I said, I don't want to cut. I just want to put it together. I think what we do, 6 cuts or something on this thing total, and I end up having to use my hammer there and put it in an angle and beat it till it got to where it was going. You know, as long as these are, you measure everything, you know, make sure these are the same length, and they were, but stuff always happens. That could have been closed. I mean, I was within probably less than 1/4 of an inch. So got it started here. You can see where it kind of started messing with the wood, and I had to back out and reset. But I got it in spot, so I'm gonna put some nails in from the other side, holding this board in, do the same on this one, and then work on my little 4-foot cross beams, which I've kind of grabbed one of them and put them up there already. If I remember right, there was room on that going that way. Let's see if I'm right. Still need to mark the other side. No, it's gonna be a close one too. But with a rubber mallet or a hammer, we'll get it done. So finish this up, we'll be back. All right, here's another tip. Took that 2x4 there, and it's similar to what I did over there. Just screwed it to the bottom there, 2 screws. It's just got to be able to hold a 2x4, nothing crazy. That way, I learned this little trick when I was doing my deck. So when you're running your stringers or whatever these things are called, you can set one on this side and it's not going to keep falling. That way, while you're fiddling over here to get it in the right spot and stuff like that, it's almost like you got somebody over here kind of holding it for you. It makes a heck of a difference. Makes things a lot easier. And you can see right there, so it spans 2, and then I'll have to move it over here to get this last one. But yeah, just a little trick, like I said, I learned when I was building my deck by myself. Makes things just so much easier. And you can see the top ones are on, and then these are getting ready to go across here, and they're going to be holding this up for even more support. So be right back. Well, here we are. Everything's done. It's ready for metal. And I think it's not too shabby. I can move it around the garage pretty easy right now. The little Harbor Freight dollies. And then, like I said, we'll probably push this out and then grab it from the front from this side with the tractor to take it where I'm planning on taking it and putting it. And hopefully that will pick it up even once I got the metal on there. Weight's not going to be an issue. It's just a matter I don't want to punch through. But you can see everything's nice and solid. And I even had too much lumber. So it looks like I ended up getting 2 more the treated 2x4s that I wasn't planning on. So yeah, just under $100 for the frame. And then the metal, I'm thinking probably maybe $200 for the metal on this thing, which won't, I don't think it's bad at all. You know, you're looking at, what's that, maybe $300 for this structure here. If it is around $200 for the metal. And it really depends on your metal. You know, I think I said it before. I got a place up the road. It's they'll cut it to the length that you want, and it's the good stuff that, you know, like where it's got the big flat spot, and then the ridge, the flat spot, the thicker gauge stuff that they sell at Lowe's. And like the place up the road, literally half the price of Lowe's. Is it JSB Metal Roofing and Siding or something like that? I think it's called. But that, you know, I'm in Kentucky, so you could be wherever. But I always look for those places. You know, call them up. They'll cut whatever lengths you want. And then you don't only have to cut nothing. Like I said, I'm going to use scrap metal or scrap metal roofing that I've had in the past where I've had some, what was it? The roof of my deck got blown off in a big windstorm that we had. So I'm going to repurpose some of that because it's still good. It's just not good for a roof of a deck anymore. You know, animals, this is going to be a lot better for them. Keep them out of keep the wind off, keep the rain off of them. Give them a place to bed down, fill full of hay and stuff for them. So that's it. Depending on how long when I edit this, I might go ahead and put the second part with actually putting the metal on so you can see what it is. If you're wondering about the pitch of the roof, why I didn't even worry about that, because I don't care. The whole point of pitching the roof is so the rain runs off and stuff. I mean, it's a flat metal roof. Water's really not going to puddle there. It's only going to be a little over 4 feet. And I just don't see that being an issue. Snow load, we don't have a lot of snow here. And even if we did, I think this structure, like I said, I think it's going to hold. I I think I would be pretty comfortable up there. It's going to hold quite a bit of weight. You'd be surprised how much a 2x4 can hold. I mean, I saw one spanning 5 feet that held my brother when he was like 250, almost 300 pounds. I was impressed. And that wasn't even laying, you know, where it was made. That's laying sideways like this. I thought the man was crazy. So anyways, it'll hold a lot more than you think. So I think this structure will be fine. And we don't get, I mean, on a crazy year, we might get 5 or 6 inches of snow. You know, we'll have bigger drifts and stuff like that, wind drifts, but you're not going to have that on the roof. If anything, it's going to blow snow off the roof. And the back side of this is going against where the weather usually comes from. So, you know, that's something else to think about when you're building something like this that's you know, shallow. It's only 4 feet. So if it was, you know, if the rain was coming in towards the open front of it, you know, the animals are going to get soaked. It's not going to give them any protection. So wherever I put this in the field, it's always going to be where the normal backside of the wind comes from. That way the wind's pushing against it. I may eventually too put anchors in this thing if I go to put it somewhere, because if the wind does come the other way, it can catch, you know, it can catch a lot of wind up in here. And that's what happened to the roof of my deck, is where it was facing where the wind comes from, and all that wind came right up, hit the side of the house, you know, between the deck and the roof, and then whipped it up. And it can only take so much of that beating, you know, anchored down like it was. But it's because, you know, it was basically like a parachute facing the wind. So facing away from the wind, you know, the backside of the wind, so it's not going to catch inside of it. That's going to keep it from lifting off or anything. And then, like I said, I might go ahead and just put 2 big ground anchors with a chain or something. You know, I could easily hook a chain to this side here, and then lead it down to one of those little screw-in ground anchors that they got for your drill. When I actually put this up, if I feel like I should go ahead and do that, I'll show that, and I'll put a link in there. But I've talked about them in the past, I believe. You know, it's like a 1/4 inch bit, or maybe a 5/8 or something like that. You basically put it on your impact, and you can drill the thing into the ground. And going in, we use them for the trampoline and stuff like that, because you don't want this out there to protect your animals, and then a storm comes in, they go in there for shelter, and whew, it goes away. So keep that in mind. But that's it for now. Like I said, since this is going so long, I probably will make 2 parts. But we'll see. Like, share, and subscribe. Come back for more. Have a good one.